for this particular year. And also we have multiple poets who are in our group. We are committed to literacy. I am a publisher and a children's book author. So we all come together to put literacy in the community because it's very, very important. We go into schools, we do workshops as well. We have many different things that we continue doing in the community because we want people to know that just because you don't see us doing positive things on the news doesn't mean that it does not exist, correct? We are out here specifically thanking Councilmember Robert E. Cornedy Jr. for giving us this venue to continue to express ourselves. And we're here because of Augusta Savage, who was a sculptor, and she was from the Harlem Renaissance, but if it was not for her, making the way for other people to come and express themselves, we would not be here today. So we want to thank her as well by paying homage to her for this lovely day. Let's give her a round of applause. First and foremost, we're going to bring a multi-talented person up. His name is Essence, and he is going to come up and he is going to share with you something very special. He is talented, he's wonderful, he's amazing, and we love him very, very much. He's one of our featured poets in Green Earth Poets Cafe, and we want to say thank you. Please come up, and we want to hear what he has to say today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wow. She was selling all those nice accolades. I was looking around to see who she was talking about. I was like, where he at? I don't like to meet him. All right, but how y'all doing, Brooklyn?
All right, all right.
It's been a minute since I've been here. All right, like she said, we represent a collective called Green Earth Poets. And I'm honored to be one of them. Appreciate that. We got some other artists, they know what it is. So I'm gonna do my best to hold this down. Here we go. Alright, I'm gonna set it off like this, because just in case you never hear me again, I always like to do this one. When it's all said and done, I just want to be mentioned. I want to be mentioned when they speak of the descendants of Willie's lynches. The pain of the slaves, their children here today, to carry their legacies being led by their spirits, though their bodies rest in the grave, I want to be mentioned. When they say how we assembled over 1 million strong, together in unity on the White House lawn, black men to amend some of the wrong. And yes, there's a lot of work ahead because the ghettos are still torn. So remember me as one who said we must keep on. I want to be mentioned when they talk about the days when 40 Deuce had nothing but porn. When you had to be in a house before the street lights came on. I want to be mentioned when they talk about Bazooka Joes and garbage pail kids. Free lunch twice a day, all that school milk stacked in your fridge. Before cars became booties and homes became cribs. Before guns became necessities when knuckling was all you did. I want to be mentioned with Pop, Pun, and Big. Liking me to Cool G and Rock Kim. Crush Through B Street, breaking and rapping. I want to be mentioned with Marcus's mission and Martin's vision. Turner's courage, Booker T's fiction. Mix me in with the greats, Keith, Browning, Frost, and Dickinson. When discussing Hughes's blues and Wright's plight, after I walk with Alice, I want to sit with Baldwin, and together we'll ignite the fire this time. I want to be mentioned with you. I want to be mentioned with you. I want to be mentioned with hot cones before extensions, when play fighting was the best way to get the opposite sex's attention, when a man's word was his conviction, when we respected our elders. I hope someone is listening. I want to be mentioned with hula hoops and Fruit Loops, Cracker Jacks, Little Debbie snacks, made footprints with poetry, now I carry her on my back. Make sure you say I grace the stages of the Apollo, the Lennox Lounge, and the Sugar Shack. Please remember me when you speak of real poetry, because I went through the slaughter with Christ just to feel and cold. See, as I write this piece, a release of a piece of me before I leave life and passion into these words I breathe. Let my epitaph read. He, Brooklyn, just wanted to be mentioned. I wasn't even sure if y'all was gonna like that, but I got another one. Y'all like the other word? Yes, ma'am. Only because my mama raised me to respect my elders, so I gotta take that. All right, here we go. Since we're in Brooklyn and I like talking to my people, I like educating as well as entertaining, so I'm gonna try this one. He closed his eyes right before he took that shot that would eventually take his life. figured he would get a head start knowing he was about to go and meet his God. No mistaking the hard cold stare in the eyes behind the perpetrator of this soon-to-be demise. As he stared down that barrel, he thought of the many times he was on the other side of that gun, watching his victims cower while he snickered like it was fun, not realizing that days are numbered and what goes around really does come back around. His final sound, BAH! Before his body went limp to the ground. Now, his mother named him Pete, but the streets called him Murder. Now, while on trial for a murder, Murder got murdered. No pun intended. There were no witnesses. And though Peter was the one killed, his family were the real victims here. Look, I'm just waiting for the day that I could truly relax and relax. Sipping some Thug Passion, listening to Pop sing about a place called Thug Mansion. A couple of homes in the Hamptons. Is that too much to be asking? Who's to say whose wife really deserved pearls was all Walter Lee was asking? Just like that, raisin in the sun, dried up. So are the hopes of so many sons raised in these slums, tied up. And this double consciousness, this conflict of interest, can't avoid being black, but they want to continue living. The prison walls are filled with those not given a chance at the all that life has to offer. So they end up slaves behind that cement coffin, or coughing up blood on a cement near you. Lift up your project window, you'll get a clear view of the moral destruction most caused by political corruption. We're no longer products, now just statistics of our environments. Many nights spent wondering why when we populate the block, we own very few, if any, of the shops on the block. I mean, I can still get numbers, Dutchess and Halal from my man we call Alk, but can rarely get greens and wings from my folks who used to share their crops, the ones who used to wear their profits, the ones who pick all of the cotton. How in this beautiful city we end up in the part of the apple that's rotten? I'm still plotting on my day in the sun, so alone I tend to roam. Sometimes being an African American feels like being homeless at home. You like that, man? Okay, man. You know what? I'm so glad that y'all feeding off your energy, y'all. Because I tell people all the time, I'm gonna give the same show for one that I'm gonna give for 1 million one day. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. So once again, like I was saying, this we're a collective, and I'm gonna try my best to hold it out because folks is caught up in traffic. They want to be, they hear in spirit. So I'm gonna carry it. Yes. Ma'am, can I share something with you? The Lord has blessed me to reach a milestone. I turned 40. Woo! I know I look good for it, but yeah, the Lord blessed me to reach a milestone, and I actually wrote a poem about it. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to? Okay then. All right, here we go. It's 40. It began when I was like about 14. Me and my homies would ante up, go to the park, tap the bottle, and crack some 40s. Pour a little out for the memories. Now at the time, neither one of us able to conceive what it would be like to be 40. Come on, OG, don't bore me with them stories of how it used to be. Trying to scare us with, y'all better pray y'all live long enough to see. Okay, B, whatever, no time to think. Tap my homie, yo, pass that 40, man. I need a drink. But it was like within the blink of an eye, 40 had arrived. Now I'm feeling like that song. Know how the years go by. And you began to think what it is that you could have, if you would have, should have done with your life. Man, no time for that. Some memories are too dark. Time to leave them in the past. For me, 40 is a fresh new start. Cause see, at 40, you're smart enough to know you don't have no time to waste. Do 40 push-ups, 40 sit-ups daily to try and stay in shape. Thank God each morning He allows me to awake. I mean, it has been 40 years. It's the least that I can say. Because I have personally known at least 40 different people who've done passed away. 40 fathers still incarcerated. 40 sons who lost their mothers to drug addiction. 40 mothers whose daughters just somehow ended up missing. 40 different families torn apart by the system. I've watched no one see nothing, yet there were at least 40 witnesses. 40 times 40 brothers I've known murdered in these streets. See, where I'm from, 40 is not an easy age to meet. Especially when walking in between X-Men and the 40s. 40. It's kind of funny when you think about it. At 20, you look at 40 as old, but at 40, you know you can teach 20 a thing about it. Came into poetry with 30, some of you may remember. It was the Sugar Shack with Brother Earl. I was drawn in by some brown eyes. I believe it was November 2005. Yeah, it was live. First Friday down the block with Harlem 125. Mocha's on Tuesdays, making my rounds in. Saturdays back in Brooklyn, just lyrically lounging. I'm kind of proud of my 30s, I must admit. Many doors opened to me because of this gift. I was an Apollo Amateur Night semi-finalist, and for 2.5 years produced and hosted one of the hottest shows, The Essence Experience. Won slams, lost slams, but I always competed. And despite what I may have been going through, never gave the air of a man defeated. Someone told me once, as long as you're still breathing, whatever it is, you still got a chance to beat it. Yeah, I'm 40, but if I'd have never told you, you'd have never seen it. I carry it well, pat myself on the back, but I really can't take credit for this upcoming stat. You see, I attribute this one mostly to the art, but within the last decade, I've had at least 40 sexual partners. And I had fun, man, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yeah, come on, y'all know me, I'm only but so discreet. Will never say no names, but I will claim that 40 is nicer in between the sheets. Now, you've all seen my baby, but I also have 2 teenagers. Thank God I'm not a grandparent, because you know, nowadays the average age is 40, plus 1 the number of crisis lashes, minus 1 the number of shots the arrow was taken. The Twin Towers, I've outlasted. Conceived somewhere, I believe, around Watergate and raised on the Reagan years, but Bush's economics never trickled down to my pockets. Was chilling with Clinton in '94 when the Knicks lost to the Rockets. 40 years of hardship, I need reparations, could use 40 acres and a mule. Right now I'm sitting here thinking, Dad, I really made 40 look cool. I'm 40. That means I've done scored twice. You see, the first 20 was just practicing. It was the second 20 in which I got nice. Not trying to say I got it right, but I'm still striving to do my best and just continue to learn from all of life's tests. Now, I don't know if I can say I truly lived and enjoyed life, but I can say that I've enjoyed mine. Lord forbid if it's the end of the night, I'm gonna tell God I had a real good time. I knew some great people, had some great experiences, and all that I didn't do, who knows, maybe it wasn't meant. Still, I like to think it was some time well spent. All right, let me tell before I get bent. Now, before I leave, I just want to say, we all grow at different levels. And success is generally not what them other folks tell you. You have to discover that one for yourself. And as you're getting older, just be a little more mindful of your health. Follow your passion and wealth will come. Again, that depends on your perception. Can you really tell the difference from? Now, when I was a teen, it was either OE or private stock. Now those 2 40s was always ready to make a youngin' pop. But I realized that the bud is lighter, plus I'm older now and a little wiser. Learn to better accept whatever it is that life throws at me. Always reminding myself to keep the 3 C's. Remember to stay calm, collected, and please, let's not forget cool. So for the rest of the